The Gujars are a fine handsome people with peculiar and characteristic features and dress which make them conspicuous. The Gujars make their living by the sale of milk, ghee, and other produce. Now they have permanent residence also at some parts of the district Chamba.
In the centuries immediately preceding and following the beginning of the Christian era, the inhabitants of Chamba region employed both the Brahmi and Kharosthi characters. Our journey to discover Chamba starts with going to the place Kanihara, which is at a distance of about 6 kilometers from Dharamsala in district Kangra of Himachal, and we find Brahmi and Kharosthi scripts, which was one time part of Brahmpur kingdom. According to Mr. E. C. Bailey, in inscriptions read Krishnasya se Drama and Krishnasya se Drama Medan Gisye. Dr. J. Bogle considers the name to be possibly a corruption of Krishna Vihara, and that the inscription cut onto massive granite blocks in the Brahmi and Kharosthi scripts would appear to prove the existence of a Buddhist monastery Arama at this place in 2nd century AD. In Patyar, one time part of Brahmpur and Chambakpur kingdom, two inscriptions of primitive type cut in both Brahmi and Kharosthi scripts in letters of remarkable size, recording the dedication of a garden and tank, probably in the 3rd century before Christ, has been founded here. There is a fort of the Raja of Chamba at the top of the hill, from where we could have a wider look of the Kangra valley and could easily visualize that how strategically important place the Raja of Chamba were controlling in this territory in their respective tenure. With the present limits of district Chamba, the earliest epigraphs hitherto discovered are the Panali Nala rock inscriptions. On our visits to Panali Nala on 6 July 2004, which is at a distance about 29 kilometers from Chamba by car and about 5 to 7 kilometers on foot, where we have discovered an image of Ganesha carved on the same rock, and also found a wonderful image of Ganesha carved on the rock just behind the above said inscriptions, with the inscriptions above the image. These sculptures of Ganesha carved over the rock in Panali Nala has not been described earlier by any writer. There is the inscriptions over the image, which is to be deciphered. However, the sculptures carved over the rock and the largest stone sculptures of Ganesha at this place Trela temple, which is near Panali Nala, along with stone sculptures of Ganesha at Trela temple and Gun temple, establishes beyond reasonable doubt that the Ganesh Puja, along with Shiva and Shakti, was prevalent in this area. We have also found an inscription on the pedestal of a Shivlinga, which is lying down in a neglected position and is half buried inside the earth at village Gung, below this Maheshwari temple. This was known as Shivpuri in ancient time and was having 108 Shivlingas. Many of them we could find even today, and rest are stated to have gone with the landslides. After digging this Shivlinga, we have found the beautifully carved oldest stone inscriptions of district Chamba, comprising of 4 lines, which is in fact stone inscriptions of Samanta Ashar Deva. And this slab inscription of Meruvarman's feudatory Samanta Ashar Deva are written in ornamental nail-head type, which succeeded the Gupta character and was used all over northern India. In this inscription, the feudatory chief Ashardeva, reporting to the lotus-like feet of the illustrious Prince Meruvarman, that scion of the house of Mashun and Surya, and worshipper of the most exalted Shiva, has made this pious gift a shrine of Sankaleshasya in the midst of Shivpura, thanks to the service rendered to the multitude of the gods and ancestral spirits. This is the text translation of these 4 lines. Next in date are the 4 image inscriptions of Meruvarman, that is, from 681 to 700 AD over the pedestal of Shakti Devi at Chatradi, Lakshna Devi at Brahmor, Ganesha image at Brahmor, and Nandi image at Brahmor. The two rock inscriptions are in the same character. The Proliragara rock inscription of Raja Mrityunjay Varman and the Swam image inscription of Rajanka Phogta from the transition from acute angle type to the Sharda. Thereafter, we find all the epigraphical record in Sharda character up to the beginning of 13th century. With these, the history of Sharda proper comes practically to an end. The 13th century forms a blank which separates the two paleographically periods. In Chamba, the character used in the script between 13th to 17th century was designated as Devasesa. In 18th century, Nagari was adopted in Chamba for epigraphical records. The Sarada, however, or rather its descendant, the Devasesa, continues as the popular script of the Punjab Hills under the name of Tankari or Takri.
In numismatic history of Chamba, Indo-Greek coins of 1st and 2nd century before Christ finds a special mention being the largest hoards in Himachal Pradesh. These coins have been discovered in good number of quantity at two places of Lachodi and Sarol of Chambakpur kingdom. No attention was made prior to this attempt to correlate the history with numismatic evidence because of the reason that no attempt was made to collect ancient coins or gather any kind of information about them. The Puri Singh Museum was established in the year 1908 AD, also remained indifferent towards numismatics till 1968 AD. In a road cutting on the Chauda Sundla road near the village Lachodi in Pargana Jund of Tehsil Saloni, district Chamba, Himachal Pradesh, a thin metal pot was discovered containing a hoard of Indo-Greek hemithrachems. In the course of the cutting, the pot was broken and the coins were shoveled off in the nearby stream, which was called Salindra, which falls into the river Seul, a tributary of river Ravi. One of the laborers collected 32 of these coins and sold them. The buyers of these coins presented 15 coins to the Puri Singh Museum Chamba in 1971. The whereabouts of remaining 17 coins are not known. The site where the coins were discovered, was part of Churavajarat of Champakpur kingdom in June Mandala. Another farmer in his field named Madhu, son of Kalidas, in the village Sorol, discovered another hoard of Indo-Greek hemidrachms in 1974. Sorol is at a distance of about 2 kilometers from the Chamba town, which was under the control of Rana of Bannu prior to the accession of area under Brahmpur and Champa kingdom. The hoard contained 17 coins and the entire hoard was acquired by the State Museum, Shimla.
The hoard of Luchodi contained the coins of the periods of Menander, Antimachus II, and Apollodotus, and the hoard of Thrall comprised of coins of Menander, Antimachus II, and Antialcidas period. The presence of Greeks in Chamba region could not be denied, with this material and substantial evidence at two places, and one being in the heart of Chamba at Saral. Though the sole presence of the coins could not establish their presence, but the other evidence of reference in Rajtarangani, according to which Jaluka, the son of Ashoka, who had taken the possession of Kashmir, had crushed a horde of Malechas. Malechas is a word attributed to the foreigners, and since no foreign people other than the Gracio-Bactrians are known to have entered any part of India at this time, it would not be unreasonable to infer that Kalana meant only this Gracio-Bactrians. A hoard of bullion, alloy of gold and silver, with predominating amount of some base metal, stated to be the Indo-Sasanian coins, was discovered in or about 1968-1969. This was discovered during the construction of a house in the village of Udaipur, which is at a distance of 4 kilometers north of Chamba town, situated at the bank of river Ravi. The exact contents of the hoard are not known. What is available is only the fact the finder brought about 100 coins to the shop of a goldsmith at Chamba and he purchased them. Out of this lot, 6 selected coins were purchased for the Bhuri Singh Museum, Chamba. Another hoard that included 44 billion, stated to be Indo-Sasanian coins and 2 silver coins of an unknown type, were found in 1968 at Chamba during the digging for the foundation of a block for the government Girls Higher Secondary School Chamba by Mr. Mahesh Chandra Vij, including 3 electrum coins, gold silver alloy of Karkotka dynasty of Kashmir, pertaining to Vinayaditya, who ruled from 737 to 74 AD in Kashmir. 5 electrum coins of gold silver alloy of Karkotka dynasty of Kashmir of King Pratapaditya, who ruled from 636 to 686 AD, were also found in Chamba town in 1971. Details about them are not known. However, they are now in Bhuri Singh Museum, Chamba. A hoard of 320 copper coins of the later rulers of Kashmir was also found in the village Bidangi in the Chamba district. And these coins include of Shem Gupta, who ruled Kashmir in 950 to 958 AD, associated with Diddarani 958 to 1003 AD, Abhimanyu Gupta, who ruled 958 to 972 AD, Tribhuvan Gupta 973 to 975 AD, Bhima Gupta 975 to 981 AD, Didarani 981 to 1003 AD, Sangrama Deva 1003 to 1028 AD, Anantadeva 1028 to 1063 AD, Kalsa 1063 to 1089 AD, Susala 1012 to 1020 AD, Jasim Deva 1128 to 1155 AD.
The known coin of Chamba state is stated to be the copper chakli, which was also issued in the times of Charat Singh.
Jinder Singh. I'm happy to be in front of the camera of Mr. D.V. Malhotra's team, and I'll be very happy to answer any questions or any information that you would like on the Chamba royal family, especially about the Burman family. My forefather, Raja Shahil Verma, or Shahil Burman, as is popularly known, founded the Chamba dynasty in Chamba itself. Of course, he had his ancestors coming in from Burmor and maybe from Rajasthan before that. And I think in the recorded history, Raja Miru Varman is the earliest of the Varman rulers uh, who was ruling in Burmor, that time called Brahmpura. And then Raja Shail Varma founded Chamba town. And since then, the Chamba royal family has been having an unbroken descent of rulers who have been ruling in Chamba town. And of course, the rest is all history. Now we are part of the Indian government and part of the Indian Federation as such. We always wish prosperity and great development for this area.
The State Chronicle was composed as late as the end of the 16th century by Pandit Ramapati, son of Pandit Suranand Sharma, and chief minister of King Balbhadravarman, who ruled Champakpur kingdom from 1589 to 1642 AD. It is based on earlier Vanshavali in the stricter sense of the word, that is, pedigree of the royal house, and on various traditions then still alive, especially in the leading temples. On the whole, the Vanshavali proves amazingly reliable so far as the mere handing down of events is concerned, but they have to be accepted with considerable reservations. The chronological order of Suryavanshi Mauryan dynasty on the basis of state chronicle, image inscriptions, rock and stone slab inscriptions, copper plate inscriptions, and other material available with us begins with the accomplished yogi Maruvarman, who married a king's daughter and begot by her three sons. The elder was Himadri, to whom he bestowed his own kingdom of Kalpa on the bank of river Saryu, and he left with other two sons and with a small army towards western Himalaya, wherein the area was largely occupied by the Ranas and Thakurs. He settled the other son Anangpal in the lower range of western Himalaya below Kashmir. Thereafter, with the third son Jayastham, he travelled towards Mount Kailash and founded the Brahmpur kingdom near Mount Kailash in the year 548 AD. It is also possible that this journey towards Mount Kailash was a pilgrimage and eventually the Brahmpur kingdom was established. The king Maruvarman, after abdicating the kingdom in favor of Jayastham in the year 567 AD, became sannyasi and accomplished the heights of yoga. The earliest sculptures seen in the area is a stone image of Kartikeya under worship in the Shakti Devi temple, Chitradi. The sculptures can be ascribed to the period not later than the 6th century AD. As per Dr. Visuari, it shows some stylistic affinities with the image of this deity discovered at Takshila, datable to the 5th century. The modeling of the image exhibits predominantly the traits of the sculpture of the Gupta period, particularly in the modeling of the torso of his figure. Some influence of the Kushana sculpture is also seen in it. The treatment of the face appears naturalistic as it possesses the qualities similar to a portrait. The ornaments and the crown of this image are also seen derived from the prototypes seen in the Kushana and Gupta sculptures. In the same temple at Chhatradi, two metal images of female deities are seen which have been identified variously by the scholars. These are considered to be the representations of Shakti Devi, Yogini, or Tara. The features of these images suggest that these images to be the work of 7th century when there was shift in the approach of the artists from the norms of Gupta period. Other ancient monuments which establish the presence of Suryavanshi Rajvansh and founding of the Brahmpur kingdom by Maruvarman during the 6th century AD are three Surya stone images of 6th century found at village Goom. Earlier, this was a pargana of the same name, which is now included in the Lil Pargana of Chamba. One of the said three wonderful stone images lies still in a temple dedicated to goddess Maheshwari, and the other two are at Bhuri Singh Museum, Chamba, and at Calcutta Museum, respectively. These Surya images of Goon are squatting in Kushana fashion and wearing Sasaniya dress and hairstyle, but otherwise in pure Gupta taste. It's a place near which there is a village called by the name Makhri.
Maruvarman was followed by Jestam Varman, Jalstam Varman, and Mahastam Varman from 567 to 624 AD, of whom we do not know much except for the fact that sculpture in stone were seen in other areas in the region of Chatradi, Brahmor, and Gu, which can be dated fairly and correctly to 6th and 7th century AD.
We find the name of Aditya Varman on the inscriptions on the pedestals of Lakshana Devi image and Ganesha image erected by Raja Meru Varman in the 7th century AD at Brahmor as his great grandfather. The inscription is written in the Sanskrit language and Sharda script. The English translation of the inscription on Lakshana runs that born from the own house of Moshana and from the solar rays, the great grandson of the illustrious Lord Aditya Varman, the grandson of the illustrious Lord Balvarman, the son of the illustrious Lord Divakar Varman, the illustrious Lord Meru Varman, for the increase of his spiritual merit, has caused the holy image of the goddess Lakshana to be made by the workman Guga. An English translation of Ganesha image runs that adoration to Ganpati, born from the own house of Moshana and from the solar rays, the great grandson of the illustrious Lord Aditya Varman, the grandson of the illustrious Lord Balvarman, the son of the illustrious Lord Divakar Varman, the king of kings, the illustrious Meru Varman has caused this pious gift to be made by the workman Guga.
The name of Raja Balvarman we do not find mentioned in the Vanshavali reconstructed by Pandit Ramapati and Lakshmi Kanta in the 16th century. We find the name Balvarman mentioned in the inscription of Lakshana Devi image inscription and Ganesha image inscription erected by his grandson Meruvarman at Brahmor. The name of the Raja Divakar Varman as father of the Raja Meru Varman. We find in the inscriptions of Lakshana Devi, Ganesha images erected at Bharmor as well as on the inscription of Shakti Devi image at Chhatradi erected by Raja Meru Varman. However, he is described as Devarman in the inscription of Shakti Devi. The English translation of the inscription of Shakti Devi image, Chitradi, says that there was an eminent chief of a pure race, the illustrious Devarman of celebrated fame. His son, charming by every virtue, is the illustrious Meru Varman, renowned on the earth. First, for the sake of the spiritual merit of his parents, he, out of devotion, caused the image of Shakti to be made after having conquered his foes in there at Brahmor. Invincible strongholds, he who has prolonged his life by glory, fame, and religious merit.
Meruvarman was one of the most legendary king of Brahmpur kingdom. He was the first to extend the state boundaries by conquest. In the Chhatradi Shakti Devi inscription, it is recorded that he dedicated the idol of Shakti Devi in gratitude for help against his enemies, whom he had attacked in their stronghold and overcome. From the inscribed stone of Ashardeva, a feudatory of Meruvarman, found in Goon, it is clear that Meruvarman's rule extended down the Ravi valley almost as far as present Chamba town. There is a note in the Kullu Chronicle which almost certainly refers to him. In the reign of Shri Dateshwar Pal, Raja of Kullu, there was war with Brahmpura in which Amar, Raja of Chamba, killed the Kullu chief. There is no such name on the Chamba roll, but it seems not improbable that Meru Varman is the Raja referred to. Assuming this to be correct, it would appear that under Meru Varman, the Brahmpura state asserted its power and carried its arms successfully into one at least of the neighboring principalities. This is confirmed by the further note in the Kullu annals that Amarpal, Raja of that state, while defending his country from another inroad of Brahmpura chief, was slain with all his sons except one. This son, Sitalpal, was an exile for life, and he and five of his descendants never reigned, from which it would seem that Kullu remained subject to Brahmpura for a considerable period. Meruvarman was not only brave and warlike leader, he was also a great builder, and there are still in existence in Brahmor many interesting remains, some of which are known to date from his time. They prove that even at that early period of history, the Brahmpur kingdom possessed a considerable measure of wealth and material resources. The remains consist mainly of temples in a remarkably good state of preservation in spite of their long exposure to the weather and attack by the Kiras. Chaurasi, the Shiva statue, once probably 8 feet high, seems to have been very similar to a statue excavated at Avantipur in Kashmir. It stood in front of a standing bull, an iconographic peculiarity of Shaivism under the Kushanas, Sasono Kushanas, and Kidara Kushanas. A parallel case is that of Shiva and Parvati sitting on standing bull or bull and lion found in eastern Turkestan, but also in Mandi, and now identify with Shiva Panchvrakta. The statue and temple were destroyed in the so-called Tibetan invasion of Khri Sron. King Sahil Varman rebuilt the temple as Manimehesh. In front of Manimehesh temple is a brazen bull Nandi of life size, on the pedestal of which is a long inscription. Only the Nandi Ashtadhatu statue survives. Also, the Ganesha temple had disappeared, but the idol, 3 feet high, still stands in a modern shed. It's a powerful and well executed figure, Gupta type, but wearing a Gandhara crown and sitting on a pedestal, much more reminding of Chinese art. Also, the lines they are on look more Chinese. The inscription on the pedestal of Ganesha ascribes the dedication of the idol to Meruvarman. Meruvarman also raised Lakshna Devi and Surajmukh Linga. Tradition affirms that he built Surajmukha shrine, and in accordance with ancient custom, a Chamba Raja, when visiting Brahmor, must pay his devotions at this temple before proceeding to his camp. Lakshna Devi temple is kept in good repair because its cult has never been seriously interrupted. But these repairs have been executed without any proper understanding of the original design in the technique and taste of the local peasant architecture. Thus today, temple appears as a simple hut of wood and raw construction. In the center of its front, however, there rises masterpiece of wooden carving. Still most impressive despite its present deplorable condition, a richly carved entrance frame on which rests a three-storied pediment, in its turn crowned by a triangular gable. The object of worship is a fine Ashtadhatu statue 3 feet 4 inches high on a pedestal of 9 inches in height. Lakshna Devi is an aspect of Durga, also called Mahishasur the slayer of the demon Mahesha, a form which can be traced first in the Udaygiri caves near Bhilsa, Malwa, and in the Gupta temple of Bhumara, but which became common under the Chalukyas of Badami and the early Rashtrakutas. As a matter of fact, this image also follows the iconographic concept of the High Chalukya period, that is 7th century. The goddess puts her right foot on the head of the killed buffalo demon after having run her trident into its neck, while with her left hand she catches the buffalo's tail and lifts its whole body up almost vertically. In every aspect, however, this image of Lakshna Devi belongs to late Gupta art. In the proportions of the figure, the anatomical treatment, the hairstyle, the costume, ornaments, and emblems. Of the other temples, only part of the images survives. What these originally had been, we know from a group of reliefs on a boulder in the Brahmani Devi Nala on the way from Brahmor to Khane. They show Lakshna Devi, Shiva, standing in front of his bull Nandi, Ganesha, and Linga. This boulder is now no more because the same is stated to have been washed away in a flood around the year 1980 AD. Very similar to Lakshna Devi temple at Brahmor is that of Shakti Devi at Chatradi. Chatradi is a village now connected with a motorable road from Chamba to Brahmor. A famous jatar took place in the month of Bhadon when dancing goes on after the idol of the Devi takes bath in water brought by the runners from Manimahesh lake on Radha Ashtami dip, Nahan. The idol of Shakti Devi in Sanctum is a fine Ashtadhatu statue. With its socle 4 feet 6 inch high, this copper socle is much lower than that of Lakshma, as the goddess stands on a big lotus which reverted overripe petals, such as is a very common convention in Nepalese and Tibetan art. She has a very slim, elegant body covered only with a transparent skirt falling down to the ankles, a kind of girdle, and strings of pearls of the same type as that worn by bracelets and earrings are of the same sort. After Mehervarman, Mandarvarman, Kantarvarman, Pragalavarman, and Ajayvarman ruled the region. The Gaddi Brahmin and Rajput have a tradition that they came to Brahmor and from Kanauj or Delhi in the reign of Raja Ajayvarman. It is also on record that when his son grew up to manhood, Ajayvarman initiated him into art of government and then installed him as Raja. He thereafter retired to the junction of the Ravi and Budal rivers near Ulansa, where he spent the rest of his life in the worship of Shiva and had been translated to heaven. Ajayvarman was followed by Swarnvarman. Lakshmivarman had not been long in power when the country was visited by an epidemic of a virulent and fatal character, resembling cholera or plague. Large numbers of people fall victim to the disease, and the state was in a measure depopulated. Taking advantage of the desolation which prevailed, people bearing name of Kira in chronicles invaded Brahmpura and having killed the Raja, took possession of the territory. Some rock-cut lingas and three deities dating to the period of King Meruvarman of Brahmor kingdom dating 691 to 700 AD. Over the figures and separated from them by a deep horizontal groove, there is a Tibetan rock inscription in one line 3 feet 10 inch long, consisting of 11 large sized letters from 3 inch to 6.5 inch height. The letters were deeply cut and distinct, except the last one, which was broken by a rent in the stone. Text is Kyun Po Jonu Phageba. Translation: The august younger prince of the Garuda lords. It is safer to presume that some non-Aryan and uh, non-Hindu tribals from northeastern parts of Kashmir invaded Chamba from western Chandrabhaga side and also held Bajnath in Kangra valley. The place then came to be known as Kiragrama in due course of time. These Kiras must have been absorbed and amalgamated with the local populace and became part of their social fabric. Prat Samhita, Rajtarangani, and Sir Aurel Strain also accept the Kira association with northeast Kashmir, perhaps Yarkand, and by implication they are non-Aryan, non-Hindu origin. This could perhaps explain the iconoclastic behavior of the invaders. The name of the Kiras is still known in the area of Brahmor, and the people showed us the fields of Kiras and also that there are graves of Kiras. See the unploughed field known to be the fields of Kiras. It was also told to us that some graves of the Kiras were also recovered by some peasants while replowing the fields of Kiras. Only archaeological excavation could bring the true facts about these narration. Lakshmi Varman left no son, but his Rani was pregnant at the time of his death, and an interesting legend has come down to us regarding the birth of her child. On the death of the Raja, the Wazir and Purohit or family priest had the Rani put into a palki and carried off towards Kangada. On reaching near village Gado, about 3 kilometers from Deo,